Okay, babes, let's get started. We're gonna go ahead and prime our lids with my MAC soft ochre, and we're just gonna go ahead and apply that all over our lids. You could use a brush. I find it easier to do it with my finger. It's totally up to you. Go ahead and prime that lid. Okay, and then we're gonna go and start with our eyebrows. I'm using my Adara 2-in-1. So I'm gonna start with my pomade, and this is going to be used to line up my eyebrows and just kind of get them to the shape I kind of want them. I'm not very too careful with this step because I'm gonna clean them out with a concealer, so I just try to make it as perfect as possible, but not very perfect. I also use the second part to fill them in, which is going to be the powder, and I dropped it on accident and you saw that on camera. Luckily I had a spare. And let's go ahead and clean our eyebrows for any excess or any imperfection we had during the lined up. And we're just gonna go ahead and kind of line them up, make sure that we clean them perfectly. And I'm using my Adara concealer in shade 03, which is a light shade. And I'm just pretty much just going all around them, making sure that they're like the way that I want them, that I feel them. I also just grab a blending brush and just go ahead and blend that in all around. Just be very careful, you don't want to mess them up. And also in the middle, I just go ahead and tap it with any remaining concealer that I have, just to give that ombre effect of a shade. And yeah, just keep doing that until you cleaned off anything that you didn't want it to be there. Okay, and for the fun part, we're going to go ahead and jump into my Rainbow Baby palette. The first shade will be Michelada. Se me hizo agua la boca. We're going to go and put that in our crease. And we're just going to go ahead and use that as our first transition shade. Just go ahead and just start slowly with just a little tab of the color and then just build up. And from that same palette, I'm going to go ahead and take Tequila Sunrise and use it as my second eyeshadow shade. And just go ahead and apply it on top of that red, just to kind of make that a little more blendable and also more softer. And we're going to jump into the Jaclyn Hill Vault Dark Magic and use the shade Temptress, which is a black. And we're going to go ahead and use this in our crease. And go ahead and take your time with this step. It is a dark shade, and you don't want it to overpower the other shades that we previously used. So please take your time with this shade. In our next step, you could use a concealer and cut your crease. I found it easier because we did use a black to just go ahead and grab a wipey and use it as like if you were cutting your crease. You know, and again, take your time because we are using a dark color. And then just clean any excess with a blending brush. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into a James Charles palette and use that white shade. We're going to place that all over our lid so it's more of a clean cut crease. And this will help for the next steps. And on our next step, I wanted to line up that cut crease and also my eyeliner for my eye. And I went ahead and used my indelible ink liner, which it is waterproof and it's not a runny liner, so that's what I needed for this look. So I went ahead and applied it at the places I needed to line up. And you know, take your time with this spot. I know you know, not everybody can do a wink, which is fine. Just know that you always have concealer. If you do mess up, you can always go ahead and clean your eye out. It is a trial and error, guys, so don't feel frustrated for this step, but do please take your time. Patience is key. And for the fun part, I'm going to be using my white concealer. This is from Adara, and it is available in my store. And I'm going to kind of just make little light bulbs. It doesn't have to be perfect because I am adding eyeshadow to those colors. So just go ahead and make your little bulbs, whatever, however big you want them, small. I did them on top of my ink liner that I drew there just because I wanted to look like those were the cables. And I applied the eyeshadows that I wanted the bulbs to be for on top of that white concealer. Go ahead and take your time with this too. You know, anything that you don't like, go ahead and clean it off with concealer or a wipey, because the eyeshadows behind it, you do have to be careful with this step. I went ahead and add a little bit of white on top of those colors just to add more of a glowy dimension. And again, guys, please take your time. I know it could be frustrating, but hey, you have two eyes, so if one doesn't work, go ahead and try on the second one. So I went ahead and drew the same colors that I used the light bulbs for. I drew them on top of my link liner just to show kind of like if the lights were reflecting below. This is an extra step I did just because I wanted to kind of still show more colors than what I already had used on the light bulbs. So you can go ahead and skip this or do it. It's up to you. And of course, because I do love a smoky eye, I went ahead and smoked it out on my waterline using the transition shades I used. I went ahead and used my 24-hour black liner and put that on my waterline just to show more of a smoky transition, and use the white from Jaclyn Hill's Vault and used it to highlight my inner corner. And lastly, I'm going to prime and prep my eyelashes to apply my Lola lashes, which are available in my store as well. And here is the final look. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want to see more looks like that, please drop your comments in the comment section. And thank you guys for watching. Peace out.